million people without health insurance. That's a problem for them. They don't get the care they need at a preventative stage. And it's a problem for everyone else, too. Because guess who pays for the people who get sick that don't have insurance? You do. It's in your tax bill or in your insurance premium. So we want to get those people insured. Now, Barack Obama has an answer how to do that. So does Hillary Clinton. Have the government take it over. Hillary's plan, she calculates, would cost about $310 billion a year. His would cost even more. John McCain says, no. Help people buy their own insurance with tax credits so that they can buy a product that's affordable and affordable. I want to make sure that the next president is not one of those who believes, like Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, that, well, the guys, the bureaucrats who ran the Katrina cleanup ought to run our healthcare system. Let's get a real market-based answer when it comes to healthcare. You know, there's one more challenge I might mention. It doesn't seem in the same nature as those, but it's important. It's the challenge to our culture. I used to, in my business life, travel to different countries. And it would strike me on occasion that you might find two countries right next to each other, one thriving and successful, and the other just barely eking by. And I'd wonder why that is. I've read books about it, a wide array of opinions on the subject. Finally, I read one by a professor at Harvard University. The name of the book is The Wealth and Poverty of Nations. As I read the book, it was about 500 pages of scholarly analysis looking at civilizations that have come and gone. And after that analysis, he ends up with one conclusion which is stuck in my mind. And roughly quoted, it says this: if you can learn anything from the history of the economic development of the world, it's this: culture makes all the difference. The difference between nations, he says, is culture. What does that mean? It means what people believe in their heart, the things they value, the things they'll fight for and live for, the things they sacrifice for. I thought, what is it about America's culture that makes us the most powerful nation in the history of the earth? You have your own ideas. I believe among those ideas would be, we believe in work. Americans are willing to work hard for the things we want. We don't look to government to care for us. We look to ourselves. We're personally responsible. Americans love opportunity. Opportunity comes first. Dependence and ease. Americans are willing to take risks for their future. Americans are God-fearing by and large. Even those who don't believe in God typically believe in something greater than themselves. We're a people who care about greater purposes. Americans are family-oriented. We love our children. We sacrifice for our children. We respect the sanctity of human life as Americans. And Americans, I believe, Americans love our freedoms, and Americans are patriotic. Now, all of these values, to one degree or another, seem to be under attack in America today. And I want to make sure that our next president is a president by the name of John McCain, a person who, when it comes to every single American value, has been tested and proven. He is the real deal. You know, I'm right next door to where the Olympics was, and I love telling my favorite story from the Olympics. Some of you may have heard me tell it. But it's one of the reasons I have such great confidence in the future of America. I'm convinced that we're going to elect Senator McCain as our next president. I'm convinced that we're going to see Bob Schaefer as your next senator. I'm convinced that Americans will make a choice that keeps America strong, not weak and dependent. And the conviction comes from the heart of the American people that I've seen throughout my lifetime and that I saw actually when I helped run the Olympic Games. I got out there to Utah, got the chance to organize the games, and at the very end of the Olympics, Vice President Cheney came to say goodbye to the athletes, and he said, Mitt, would you choose one athlete to sit with me in the presidential box of closing ceremonies, an athlete who will represent all the athletes? And I chose Derek Parra. Derek is a Hispanic American, about 5'4", and he was a rollerblader in Los Angeles. And his friend said to him, you know, you ought to consider taking up ice skating. He'd never skated before, but he was good on rollerblades, so he strapped on some skates, and he was pretty fast. And with training and hard work, he got faster and faster, and this guy from Los Angeles ended up becoming a member of the U.S. speed skating team. Meet those big guys from Michigan, my home state, and Wisconsin, Indiana. Became a member of our team. Went out there, skated his heart out, got a silver medal in speed skating, then got a gold medal. Fastest man on the planet on ice skates. And so I invited Derek Carr to come sit with the vice president at closing ceremonies. And as Derek was coming in, he came by me and I said, Derek, what was the most memorable experience in your Olympic Games? And he said it wasn't the silver medal and it wasn't the gold medal. The most memorable experience for him was being able to carry in the flag to opening ceremonies, the American flag that had flown above the World Trade Center on September 11, 2001. Remember, that flag is about 8 feet by 12 feet. It's badly burned and torn. It was shown in other venues. When it was shown, crowds erupted in cheers. Derek said that when it was announced that it was coming into the stadium, that he and the other 7 athletes that were carrying it assumed the crowd would burst into cheers. But he said, total silence, complete reverence. He said, we carried that flag and stopped in front of the symphony and the choir, and they began performing the national anthem. And he said, Mitt, it was hard to hold on to my emotions as they were singing those words, and I was holding that flag. And then he said the choir did something we hadn't expected. I knew it was coming, because I got to pick the version of the national anthem the choir was singing. It's an old 1930s version of our national anthem by Robert Shaw. And in this version, you repeat the last line as a reprise, sopranos 1 octave higher. Just what happened. He said the choir began singing again that last line with more orchestration. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. And he said this time as they sang it, a gust of wind blew into the flag and lifted it in their hands. And he said, for me, Mitt, it was as if the spirits of all those that had fought and died for American liberty had just blown in that flag. And he said the tears rolled down his face, and as he was telling me the story, the tears filled my eyes as well. It is that love of liberty, that recognition of the sacrifice of our brave men and women who stand for liberty, that convinces me that the heart of the American people is good and sound and strong. Of course, we have a job to educate people about the issues that we face and to let people know where people stand. But I'm convinced that they'll elect good people, like Senator McCain, who's been tested and proven time again, whose patriotism we know well, who is a man who will fight to make sure that we're successful in defeating radical jihadists around the world, a man who knows how to strengthen our economy and get us energy independent, a man who will improve our schools and get health care for our citizens that's not government-based but that's market-based, a man who is convinced that America is, as it has always been, the hope of the earth. That man is depending on you. He asked me to be here to speak with you today, to ask you to do all that is necessary to send him out with all the energy and passion you can, to get people to vote time and time again if you have to raise money for him, put bumper stickers on your car. I'm just kidding about that multiple votes. It's a Massachusetts joke. Just kidding about that too. And we want to do everything in our power that's legal to make sure that we get this man elected president. America needs him. My family needs him. Your family needs him. The next president of the United States has got to be Senator John McCain. Thank you so much.